Good evening, everyone. How are you on this very, very dark and cold day? I find it's hard to keep motivated now when it gets dark at 4:30 in the afternoon. Who else is feeling really, really sleepy these days? 4:30, it's getting dark already outside. What the heck is up with that?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to everybody online. I got a bunch of people online and you, Johannes.
I think nobody is coming to me.
No, they're here. They're here. See, look, everybody online.
No, not online here in the room.
Oh, beside you, you want company here.
Nobody, yeah?
Bahisan and I are here.
Who?
Bahisan and I. There you go. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about goal setting. So
Okay.
I was just touching on a little bit. We were talking here. You guys, we have lots of holiday stuff happening, parties to go to, stuff to do. And I know we're all busy, but you guys got to focus a little bit on business. So you're going to have a really quiet January, February. And then you're going to work January, February, and you're probably not going to see any result of that till like March. So it's hard to start off the year really, really slow, especially after the holidays, buying presents for everybody. And, everybody wants some cash flow, some good cash flow for the first quarter. So we're going to talk about goal setting a little bit. I have a spreadsheet that I created. I'm going to email it to anybody interested after. Hi, Humayun. Nice to see you there. I just saw your hello. Yeah. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to send it to all of you guys. We can fill it out. It just basically helps keep you on track. So I know sometimes, I have agents who say to me, I want to make, I don't know, $100,000 this year. And then you get to the third quarter and they haven't done that. And they're trying to work really, really hard to achieve their goals. So it's just a little tracking form. I'm going to show you guys how to keep on track with yourself from the first quarter to the last quarter. But we're just going to talk a little bit about goal setting right now. So I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. You can read along as I go. Okay, so goal setting. How do you set a goal? So your goals must be specific, detailed, and clear. You must invest time to put them in written form. So they say, yeah, I can say in my head, I want to make 100,000, but when I put it down and in writing and I reduce it to writing, it actually makes it something tangible, something that I can see and I am aware of at all times, right? You're putting some action towards it already by setting the goal and writing it down. So you're already in the right direction. There's a direct link between your writing and the goal, seeing it being written and burning it in your subconscious mind. So the goals you desire must be specific, not vague. So you can't say, I want to make a lot of money next year. You have to reduce it to a figure, right? To set a goal to be rich or happy will not draw you to it. Well-written goals are like magnets and they will lead you to a desired result. So your goal must be concrete and tangible. Highly defined goals are attained, fuzzy goals are forgotten. So we're going to say to ourselves, we want to make $100,000 this year. Now you have to have a goal that's measurable. How do you measure your goal? You can only truly measure your goal, right? Because you have to be able to analyze and evaluate your progress, which is what we're going to go over with this sheet that I created for you guys. I used to use it in my old office and it was a really great tool to keep track. So I guarantee you guys, if you use it, I use it myself. It helps you keep track over the years, over the coming year. So your results are going to be, like I said, they have to be something tangible, something that you can attain, right? You have a goal of being rich, but you need to know specifically how much money rich is. How much money is rich to you versus rich to somebody else, right? So it has to be a specific goal. You need to know the specific time period you want to achieve the goal, and then that becomes a goal. So this is going to be, I guess you could say, the process of how you're going to get to that goal. So you have to give yourself a deadline. So we're going to say by the end of 2023, because we're looking at next year now as our real estate year, from January to December 31st, 2023. They'll have a time, they have a time by which you need to accomplish them by. They also have interim steps along the way that can be monitored. These sub-deadlines or schedules are critical to your success. There are no unrealistic goals. There are merely unrealistic timeframes. So what do we do normally in real estate? We break things into quarters, right? So we have January to March, April, May, June kind of thing. So that's how we're going to look at it on the next spreadsheet I'm going to show you guys. So, and goals need to challenge your capacity or beyond your current capacity. So if you made $100,000 this year, don't make your goal for next year to be $100,000. You know you can achieve that. We're going to try and push further for the next year. We're going to try and see how much more we can make. Are we going to double that? Are we going to earn 150 or 200,000 next year? If we earned 100 this year, we're going to see how we can push forward and achieve more. Okay, so the goal has to be something that you haven't achieved yet. It has to be something you got to stretch to. So This will stretch and mold you into a new person. So it's not the money that makes the millionaire successful. It's what he had to become as a person to earn $1 million. So it's your journey, right, that you're going to take. If you took the money away from that millionaire would make it back twice as fast as before because he learned the skill to make it in the first place. So you hear these stories like, for instance, Donald Trump, how many times has he claimed bankruptcy and gone and made his fortune back again? These people have a certain way that they go about and they do business, and that's how they know to be successful at the end of the day. And part of it is writing these goals down, monitoring them, and sticking to them, trying to achieve those goals, right? Your goals need to possess congruency with your values and beliefs. So your goals also have to be harmonious with each other. Here's an example. I want to lose 40 pounds, but I don't want to eat, but I also want to eat Rocky Road ice cream every night before I go to bed. One of these goals will give away to the other. So they're not congruent with each other. There's no way I can achieve both at the same time. You cannot achieve goals that are actually contradictory, okay? So you can't say, I want to earn $100,000 next year, but I definitely want 1 week off a month, and I don't want to work the summer, and I definitely want my holidays in December. You're going to have a realistic goal because it's going to take time and effort on your part of how much work you're going to put in next year. Your goals must have a balance between your personal life, family, financial, spiritual, physical, mental, and business goals. Just as a wheel needs balance to rotate properly, we need balance to get anywhere in life, right? And the largest, most difficult goal in life is to find your purpose goal. We all have one goal that is the core of our being. Our life moves to greatness when we can decide upon a definite purpose or focus in life. So you got to think about it. Why do you want to make a lot of money next year? You want to make a lot of money next year because you want to travel more with your family, right? Because you want to, you want to be home more often, right? Instead of working, maybe you want to put an addition on your home or upgrade your home, right? This is what is going to be going along with your monetary goal for next year, right? So you have to have something that is that's purposeful to you. Okay. I'm just going to stop the share here and I'll go back to my I'll open it up first. Sometimes when I switch screens, I know you guys online lose it there. So I'm just going to go and share it again so you guys can see it. So this is a spreadsheet I created in my old office there. I find it works really well. I've tweaked it a little bit over the years. So first things first, I just put, made sure it was working here on my online screen. You're gonna put your name in. It's your action plan for 2023. So we're being accountable for our success, okay? So we're not gonna complain halfway through the year, you know what, I'm nowhere near my goal, because who's accountable for that? At the end of the day, it's you. Right? So what are you going to do this year to be accountable for your goals? You're going to work harder. You're going to attend training. You're going to, lead generate more. You're going to make more cold calls. You have to think about what are the different ways you're going to work harder to do that? We'll talk about that in a little bit if we have enough time here. So what I did is I just plugged a bunch of figures in here. And what I do is the way I calculated is I just did an average for of all the home prices in Toronto as per the Treb Market Watch. I always tell you guys, go check out the Treb Market Watch. It's the first today. So I was on the Treb Market Watch checking out November there. I just took a median of all the figures on there for, detached townhomes, condos. And I just took an average amount and it got me to, I think it was $1,022,022 for average price of homes. Okay. And I'm taking the lowest percentage for a list, which is 1%. And I'm taking the full 2.5 for a co-op. Okay. And you're going to see something here when I plug in. So say you guys decide that you want to make $100,000 this year. You're going to put $100,000 in here. Okay. And see, it's going to fill out a lot of the form for you. Okay. Which I'll go over in a minute. So now we're going to talk about your personal goal. Remember, we were talking about the congruency between, okay, I want to earn this much money. Well, what's going to push me to earn that money? It's because, say I want to travel more. Maybe that's your goal for this year. I want to travel more with my family, right? Great. Okay. I always put that months worked in the year or 11 months because in actuality, there's going to be a week you want to take off maybe in the summer with your kids. There's going to be a week like now coming up around the holiday time, we're going to spend off. We're not working 100% of the time, 12 months of the year, right? So it's unrealistic to say that we're going to be working 12 months of the year. And so how do you plan to achieve this goal of $100,000? Okay. So, I got to fix that here. Commission goal for 2023. You can see I created this form a while ago. Okay, so commission goal for 2023, it's $100,000. So with the average commission for a listing at this point, and I just took, like I said, the average price in Toronto with a 1%, and I hope you guys are pushing for more than 1% on your listings, but say bottom of the barrel, right? We always work with lower figures because if you make more, who's going to complain, right? So we're going with the bottom of the barrel, 1%. You're going to make about $10,221 in commission for a list, right? And then the average commission for a purchase is $25,000 at that average price for Toronto. Okay. So now I'm going to break it down here and you guys have to sort of decide this. Do you do more listings or do you do more purchases? Okay. I would say at the end of the day, I do more listings, right? So I would say that maybe 75% of, oops, writing in the wrong slot there. 75% of my business comes from listing and 25% comes from purchases, right? So in order for me to make that $100,000, 75% of it's going to come from my listing. So 75,000 and 25,000 is going to come from my purchases, right? So in order to do that, you see it plugs out the information here. I'm going to need 7 listings sold and 1 buyer. That's what I'm going to need for 2023 in order to achieve this goal of $100,000, right? Already when you say I want to earn $100,000 or say you put something, you know, if you're already making 100, you want to put 200, 300, whatever you want to put in here, it seems like a big goal. But then when you start to break down like this, it starts to seem attainable, right? Your goal sheet starts to seem really attainable when you say, that's all I need is 7 listings and 1 buyer in the entire 2023. And I'm going to hit my goal of $100,000. It's like when you guys are sitting here and I'm talking to a lot of the new agents or people, anybody saying, oh, I'm slow right now. I'm slow right now. I always say, don't go and sort of run around looking for business everywhere. You're going to focus on just getting 1 deal this month, 1 deal per month. That should be your focus, right? So if you think to yourself, well, I can get 1 deal this month, great. Think if you're getting 1 deal a month, that would be 12 deals. That's above and beyond what I have here to make 100 grand a year. So if you focus on 1 deal a month, you're going to be making over that $100,000 mark in no time, right? I just break it down a little bit further here because we know that a lot of times we get a listing, but they're not necessarily sold. So we're just saying 80% of my listings taken or sold, right? So that means that 9 listings I have to take at the end of the day. 15% of my buyer contacts are not completed. So sometimes you're working with buyers, you just don't lock them down into something. So I'm going to need at least 1 buyer to work with, right? 70% of my listing appointments are successful, but my listing appointment, that makes my listing appointment goal to be 13. Okay. You guys see what I'm doing here? I'm just breaking it into a bigger snowball to see what do I need to get those 7 listings sold. In order to get 7 listings sold, I have to take 9 listings. I have to make sure I get 9 listings next year. In order to get 9 listings, I have to make sure I have 13 listing appointments, right? Okay, so you have to keep on breaking this down to yourself, right? So what are my monthly goals here in order to get those buyers and those listings? Okay, monthly goals is to take 1 listing and 1 new buyer. Okay, my monthly target is 100 prospects. So they say for every 100 that you talk to, remember I talk about this all the time in training, for every 100 people that you talk to and you get around to, 1 person you're going to hit. 1 person, hand out your business card 10 times a day, walk around, talk real estate to people. After you talk to 100 people, after you call some people, after you talk to your family and friends, your center of influence, out of those 100 people, 1 person is going to say to you, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely looking to buy or sell. Okay, 1 person you're going to hit out of 100. Those are the averages, right? So if I have to talk to 100 people, that means my weekly target is, you know, I better be getting 10 prospects. Right? Do we see how that works? I just try to break it down because I know I find it overwhelming when I used to do the goal setting with new agents, especially, and they say, you know, you think I can make $75,000 this year or 100,000? It seems like it's a big number and it's unattainable to them. So I found that when I break it down this way, it just becomes more attainable. It becomes more like, oh yeah, no problem. I can do that. 7 listings sold for next year and 1 buy, no brainer. I can do it, right? I can make 100,000. So here again at the bottom, I've broken it down, and this is how I want you guys to keep track of what you're doing over the course of the year. Okay. So you're going to write down, say I made $2,000 in January. I did say a lease, right? And then I did, you know, $5,000. Maybe I don't know, sold a condo or listed a condo for 500, right? And then maybe I did nothing in March. Okay. My original goal was to make $25,000 the first quarter. So now I can see, look, I only made $7,000 this first quarter. I now already am at an $18,000 deficit. So I better catch up the second quarter, right? And I find this happens a lot because our business does ebb and flow. You know, January, February, March tend to be slower months because, like we were saying, who wants to move in the snow, right? If they don't have to, or the cold and the rain. So then we find it picks up for the spring market and say, now you made $20,000 in April, right? And you made, you know, $15,000 in May, right? And then you went ahead and you did another $20,000 in June, right? Those are good months. Now we're 12,000 in the plus. So you guys get the idea. Now for the third quarter, instead of having to make $25,000, I only have to make 13,000 to keep up for the rest of the year. And just trust me, when you see this on your spreadsheet and when you go back and you do your little check-in quarterly with yourself to see how you're doing for the year, it makes you motivated. If you see you're a little bit behind, you're going to work a little bit harder. Maybe you were slacking off the last couple of weeks and now you know you have to pull up your socks and work a little bit harder for April, May, and June because your first quarter was really slow and you know you're not going to hit your target for the year. Right? So we're really, really focusing on trying to hit our targets for this year. Does anybody have any idea of what their goals are going to be this year? What kind of goals do you guys have this year? And I'll share the sheet with anybody who wants to do it. It's just a good sheet to keep track of yourself. It's in Excel, and I've locked the cells where the formulas are, so you shouldn't be able to screw it up too much. You should be able just to type in wherever you can. The gray parts for you guys to fill out and keep track of yourself.
Yeah,
But what are
please
your
share
guys'
it.
goals for this year? Does
Please
anybody
share it,
have a good
Christine.
goal for this year? You said make a lot of money. What's a lot of money? How many listings do you think you want to get this year? Or how many buyers do you have to work with?
Me?
Yeah. Because you see, we were talking about this right before we started. You said you want to make a lot of money this year. How are you going to get to that goal?
Well, by working very hard.
Working very hard. How though? Because you can just work hard all the time and you can spin your wheels, right? This is what I mean. Like we have to really define our goals, right? I trained a lot over the years, you know, for the better part of 10 years now I've been training. And I'm telling you that when I can tell when people are listening to my advice and when people aren't listening, right? At the end of the day. So as a new agent, I'm telling you guys, you have to, especially new, old, doesn't matter. You find you're a bit slow. Everybody kind of has to hone in their business a little bit, but you have to take that goal now, make it something specific. Remember, we were talking about being specific. So working hard is great, but how are you going to work hard? Right. So I would say something like, maybe I'm going to come in every morning from 9 to 11 to the office. And I make sure between 9 and 11, I'm going to do at least 10 prospecting calls every day. Right? That's something good. That's you working harder. And that's something a little more precise in what you guys are doing to goal set for the next year. Right? Because when you do that and you say between 9 and 11, I'm coming in every day and I'm making 10 business calls. At the end of that, at the end of that week, you've made 50. You're halfway to that goal to getting that one person, right? So within the first 2 weeks of the year, if you come in and do that, you should have one prospect to work with already in January, right? If from 9 to 11, you come in and anybody, I'm just saying in general, if you come in and you do 10 business calls every morning from 9 to 11, and you call anybody in your center of influence and you say, hey, you know what? I'm a real estate agent now. I've got my license. You know, do you know anybody buying or selling? Are you buying or selling? No. Okay, great. And you get through 100 people, you're going to have one person within the first 2 weeks of January. And you can start now. You don't have to wait till January. Whatever you're doing now is preparing for your 2023 goal, right? So if you start now during, like I say, it's a great time. You guys are doing lots of holiday parties right now. There's lots of functions going on. Everybody's off for a couple of weeks. Kids are off school, so people are having dinner parties at their house, holiday parties. It's a great time for you guys to network, because wherever you go, you can go. The topic always turns up to real estate, no matter what, whatever kind of function you're at, right? So you're going to want to get a hold of people and talk to them and say, hey, you know, are you looking to buy or sell? The groundwork you put in now over the next few weeks and the first couple of weeks or year, it will help set the tone for your goal setting for the this upcoming year. Okay, I'm just going to go back and share my screen a little bit. You guys have any questions so far or anything you want to share about your setting your goals?
You're asking me?
I'm asking anybody online here and you. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about success, right? And why we're going to succeed for 2023. So we're going to focus on our business generation. This is your number one priority. This is what I tell everybody coming in. Don't worry about, I don't know how to do the paperwork. I don't know how to prepare a CMA. I don't know how to use Authentisign. I don't know that, I don't know what clauses to put. You don't have to worry about any of that. Your priority is your business generation. Find a contact, find somebody to work with, anybody. Call everybody in your center of influence and, find somebody. Because once you have that somebody, you can come into any of us at the office, but, me especially, come in, talk to me and say, hey, you know what? I've got this listing coming up, or listing appointment coming up. Help me prepare. Now we can focus. What do you need for that listing appointment? How do you prepare your CMA? Objections you might come across during that listing appointment. We can help you get ready for that, right? But number one priority, focus on your business generation. Okay. You have to prospect earlier in the day. A lot of people say to me, oh, well, people are at work, but I find that the earlier I talk to people in the day, the more chance I have to grab their attention. It's just something about when people are done their day, or they're getting to the end of their day, especially if you catch them when they're at home. A lot of people say, what's a good time to door knock? I think I should door knock in the evening. I find that I've done it in the morning and in the evening, making cold calls and door knocking. But when you go in the evening, people are busy now. They're in family time mode. They're making dinner. They've put their feet up on their couch. They don't want to be bothered with it. So I prospect early in the day. Personally, it's usually the things I do first thing in the morning. I call all those people that I think you have a white, anybody's been in my office, you can see my whiteboard behind me. I write down all my people and I sort of look at the board every morning. I think, who should I call? Where can I get business from? Right? Tough on pricing, go back faster for a reduction. So when you get those listings, don't leave them up, especially right now. Things aren't flying off the shelf. You guys have to be really careful with your pricing strategies, with your listings and stuff like that. If you're unsure right now, again, come and ask me. Prospect for appointments, not leads. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that when I'm on the phone and I'm calling and I'm trying to prospect, I'm trying to get an appointment with people. Nobody, signs the paperwork just by talking to them on the phone. You're trying to get face to face to these people. Okay, so when you think about those goals and how many listing appointments do I have to make? I want to make sure that I'm prospecting for appointments. I want to go to those people's home. I want to sit right in front of them and I want to get them to sign with me. Right? Track and monitor everything you do. So this is important. Aside from your goals, you should even be track and monitoring, say, the marketing you're doing. What's working for you? What's not working for you? So I get this question a lot. People come and say, what do you do? Like what marketing works for you the best? I kind of run off the business that I'm already doing. So what works for me best is my just sold flyers. So when I send them out, I find I get a lot of calls from those because I shown a track record. That's hard if you don't have any listings, right? My brother, for instance, who's also a real estate agent, he does a lot of work online because he's good at that. I'm not as good as pushing my marketing online. So it all depends on what your forte is, but you should be tracking and monitoring everything you do so you know what's working for you and what isn't working for you. So you're not wasting your time, your energy, and your money trying to achieve your goal and, sort of throwing money to the wind, right? Review your business plan weekly. Okay, so we may not have time to do it always weekly, but we should 100% be checking in at least monthly to see how we're doing. I've broken it down into quarters to talk about hitting our target goals. But if you get to the end of that quarter and you realize you've fallen short, what are you going to do? The whole quarter's gone already. So you should at least be visiting your business plan and your goal setting monthly, I think is the best idea. What did I do this month? How many listings did I get? How many buyers did I take out? Did I get any firm deals? Do I have any sold listings? Review and see how you're doing. Work on your scripts every single day. So again, this is really important. People think it's silly. And every time I have training for scripts, you guys are hiding because I want you guys to come in here and practice. It's an excellent idea. And I know it's a little daunting task, but think of it. If you come into the office and we play and we do our scripts and dialogues amongst each other, we get to sort of fix our mistakes here instead of making the mistakes on the field. Because what happens is when you make the mistakes in the field, you're losing that listing appointment. You're not getting it. They're not signing with you at the end of the day, right? And I can't stress to you how much scripts will save your life, because what they do is they give you the tool to know what to say when you're in that situation. So when your client says to you, will you reduce your commission? You're not like, sure, yeah, and losing that commission automatically. You know how to handle that objection, and you know what to say back because you've practiced your script in your mind and you already have that flow. You know what to say back to your client. right? So don't hide from the script training, guys. Come in and do it. Trust me, it'll save you in your appointments with your clients at the end of the day. Stay on schedule at all costs, okay? So what does that mean? So you're going to plan aside from your goal planning. I'll see if I can get my scheduling open here. You're going to plan out a schedule for yourself. So for instance, you're going to say something like 9 to 11, I'm going to, you know, prospect, and then 10 to 12, I'll do follow-up and planning for, you know, booking all my showings for this week and whatever else you need to do. If you've decided that you want to work Monday to Friday because you don't want to work the weekends, and you don't work on Monday because you took an extra long weekend, you better plan to work that Saturday or Sunday. You know what I mean? Do your open house or go and do something like that. Because if our income potential is limitless, like I always say in real estate, but it's also very easy not to achieve those goals because it's easy for us to take a day off, or, you know, not go and do our showings, or not go and do our listing appointments. It's very easy because we don't have that check-in schedule at 9 to 5, right? So you have to stay on your schedule at all costs, no matter what. Maintain high standards. That's self-explanatory. So I always tell my agents, you know, I say, you know, dress nice, look the part, play the part. People aren't going to hire you if you look like a schlep, right? Don't get emotionally involved. So
Number 9, what is it? Maintain high standards.
maintain high standards. Yeah. So meaning do good business, be good to your people. Like, especially when you're starting off, I always, you know, you guys get tired of my analogies all the time, maybe, but you know, it's like when you're making a snowball, you know, the snow's outside, you see the kids making a snowball, and it takes a long time to get the snowball bigger and push it. And once the snowball's real big, you got to keep on pushing it because it gets real stuck in the ground and it's hard to start pushing again. It's like that in real estate. Once you got to get that ball rolling, you got to keep it rolling. You have to keep consistent. You have to keep good standards with your clients. You're gonna want to survive on your repeat and referral business. You don't, right now, it seems difficult starting off your real estate careers, and you're going to go out there and you're going to say, where do I find business from? I have to prospect, I have to call 100 people. You think it sounds like a daunting task, but you don't want to have to do that all the time, right? You want to get to a point in your career where people are now going to call you, refer you, because you've maintained high standards with them. They're happy with your business, right? So, I mean, just be good to your clients, maintain high standards, do good business, clean business, and you'll get the repeat and referral, and you'll live nicely off of that. You know what I mean? And then whatever prospecting you do on top of that, it'd be gravy, and you definitely can increase your sales every year as you go along, right? Don't get emotionally involved. This is a big one. So, you know, like my dad said, growing up here with getting our real estate licenses, your family and friends aren't going to use you. Don't cry when you walk into your cousin and he says, hey, guess what? I just bought a house. You say, great, congratulations, no problem. If you lose a listing, don't keep on going back and looking at it and cursing it online and checking to see if it's sold. Don't torture yourself with those things. Real estate's tough. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. The best thing you can do is move on quickly to the next thing. Because if you get emotionally involved, you get real stuck in real estate really, really quickly, right? Don't get frustrated. And have a plan with accountability and structure. So again, we're talking about our goal setting. What's your plan? What's the accountability? I'm working Monday to Friday. You know, I'm set this monetary goal. I set this monetary goal because I want to travel more. And this is how much I need to make each quarter. This is how many listing appointments, how many prospects I need to get in touch with every quarter in order to get those goals. It has to have some kind of structure. So 8 reasons why agents fail. You wait for repeat and referral business. Now, while I'm talking about enjoying that repeat and referral business, you can't wait for it. You don't know when it's going to come, right? I don't know if somebody's going to call me tomorrow and say, hey, Christine, that house you sold us 5 years ago, I'd like to sell it again now. I want to put it on the market. So you can't wait for your repeat and referral business. You have to generate. If you generate business inconsistently, you'll fail. So you have to be consistent. That's why I say you get up every morning, 9 to 11, make your calls, 11 to 12, do whatever you have to do. Keep that consistency going in your business. Trust me, try it for a month and you guys will see a huge difference if you get a schedule together and you're consistent with it, right? If you don't qualify your leads, so I mean, that's an obvious, you don't want to work with a buyer, find out he's not qualified to get a mortgage after you've shown him 40 homes. You have to qualify your leads, right? It's part of the training I do. And now the new year will be starting. So I'll be repeating a lot of my topics. So anybody who just joined us, you know, partway through the year or whatnot this year, you'll be getting a good, you know, gist of all the topics I cover because I'll be starting them again in January. I usually go over one of them being qualifying your leads. So working with your buyers and seeing how to qualify, making sure you're not wasting time with that buyer. You don't qualify your appointments. So you booked out this time, you go to your appointment. The wife, if wife is only there, the husband isn't there to sign, you can't list the property. And she's really only trying to think, you know, man, maybe she'll list right now, depending on how she feels the market is. Sorry, I just realized. Please share this document and goal spreadsheet. Oh yeah, for sure, Erin. I'm going to. I'll send it to you for sure. Because then you guys can you actually type in it in Excel and put your goal. Like I say, I lock the cells where the formulas are, so you can go and play around with it as much as you can. Fill in all the gray parts, and you can see what your goals are going to be in there for sure. I'll totally send it to you guys. Okay, don't qualify your appointment. So I was just talking about that. So you get to your appointment, not everybody's there to sign. You haven't done your research, and you know, this wife is only just wanting to see how much things will sell on the market. You've wasted your time. You've done the CMA, all the time you spent before the appointment and at the appointment, and you're wasting your time, right? Overpricing your listings. You guys should be doing enough research. Again, when we talk about the CMA and a listing appointment, you should be doing enough research to go into your appointments and be confident to tell your clients, or educate your clients, I like to say, on what the prices should be. You don't overprice, right? You spend too much time on your marketing. So your marketing should work for you. You shouldn't have to work hard on it, right? So definitely don't spend hours and hours and hours on social media trying to promote yourself and not getting anywhere with it, right? Again, there's that one. Don't track or monitor your activities. You have to track and monitor. You have to write it down. You have to see what it is. And you have no plan or accountability or structure, right? You guys have to have that accountability and structure in place. Otherwise, it gets really easy not to stick to your goals. Okay, I'm just going to go and try and find my scheduling thing here. Anybody have any questions so far about that? I have like a mock schedule that I had put in here. I'm just going to try and find it for you guys real quick so I can go over it before we run out of time. Do you guys have an idea of how 2023 is going to be? What do you guys think is going to happen after this next rate hike? You think we're going to see people kind of like start feeling a little more confident with the market now that they know it was probably the last rate hike that's going to happen? Any predictions for what's going to happen with the mortgage rates next year for our spring market? No, everybody's so quiet this evening. Do we think the rate's going to go down next year at all? Or you think it's too soon for that? No?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? So you don't think it's going to go down at all? Yeah.
It will continue as far as there is problems, housing market problems.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It won't come down.
No?
I don't think so.
Yeah. What do you think about the prices? Do you think the prices will go up in the spring market like they usually do?
No, come down.
Yeah, you think the price is going to go down again?
Hopefully.
Okay, I'm just trying to see if I can find my scheduling thing here. Was it under this? It was just a different set of trading I do, but since we talk so much about sticking to our schedule, I wanted to show it to you guys. Right.
Normally, spring market is high, isn't it? It comes up.
Normally the spring market is high. So normally that's what you see. So I can't say what a weird year this year has been. Even last year, I would say, because in my 16 years now, you see that, the spring market sort of March, April, May, June is like really high. And then July and August are slow because everybody's doing summer holidays and everybody wants to. The reason our spring market is so high because the weather's nice for one, but also everybody sort of wants to move before September. September is a big push for a lot of families, especially because they want to make sure they're moved and settled before the kids start school again in September. July, August, you see it being really slow. Then you sort of see the fall market be our second burst for the year. So September, August, September, October, November, we see it a little spike again. Again, it's because everybody wants to move before the holidays, before the snow flies, right? And then you see it quiet down again, January, February kind of ghost towny again because it's freezing cold and icy. Nobody wants to move in that. And then March, you see it spike up again. But what did we see happen at the beginning of this year? I was crazy busy. January, February, March. I thought this is weird for January. I was so busy.
It's
Right.
busy, you think?
This past January, right?
That's
Yeah. And then March was the highest everything was. And then everything sort of crashed after that. The rest of the year started going down and down and down as the rate hikes were happening and people hearing 3 to 5 rate hikes happening this year, sort of looming over our heads. Halted our spring market. We didn't get their spring market. August was incredibly slow. It picked up a little, I find, September, October, but then not as much as it normally does, right? So what do I think of the price and rate? Who's asking me to stay here, Erin? Okay, yeah. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. So I am hopeful because I keep on saying we were in a similar market, you know, in 2018 when we had crazy bidding wars and then they raised the rates and then 2019, everything kind of went down again. Oh, sorry, it's 2017 and then 2018, everything kind of went down again. And then 2019, everything was back up. And everybody was so surprised because this was sort of looming over us. But I find we've just been hammered this year. Like I keep on saying, like, why are they trying to kill us all in one year so badly? I know we're trying to correct the market. Okay, it's corrected. You know, the rates have gone up, prices have gone down. We don't see the bidding wars happening as much, right? We're getting time to work. And I like to say, I like to work in this kind of market because we have time with our clients to do our home inspections and put in our clauses and make sure that the financing is in place. We don't just throw in like, you know, willy-nilly firm deals all the time. It's tough working in that market. So I don't mind, but I don't know. I think it's been really harsh this year. I hope that our spring market at least holds firm and it doesn't go down even more, right? I don't want to see it to go down too much more. I know I hate seeing my mortgage go up and up as the variable rates go up. I should have locked in, but too late for that now. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think is going to happen, Erin? What's your opinion?
how much listing? It will be more listings or less?
More listings than this past year? I don't think so. So this was crazy. Like March, if you look back, things are easily $150,000 more and there's crazy listings, right? We were just being flooded and things weren't staying on the market at all. And they were flying off, you know, sometimes in less than 7 days. I don't know if year over year, I don't think it's going to be as much, maybe less. I think because, you know, unless people have to move. So like I say, keep on saying to your clients, they should never be afraid because if they say to you, well, I don't want to sell now because I'm getting less money. But if they're selling and they're buying, it doesn't affect them as much because they're selling low, they're buying low, right? But I think what's going to thin out the market is definitely anybody who would have cashed out an investment or sold. I know I'm about to list a condo next week and my client asked my opinion and I'm aware that it's his investment. It's not his primary residence. And he said, should I sell or should I rent? And I rented it for him. I think it was in 2018 for $1,600. He can get $2,400 for it now. Whereas the sales prices in his building, the last sale price was $588. At the beginning of this year, they were selling $760. So I told him, I said, knowing that this is your investment, I said, you could have got $760 at the beginning of the year, now you're getting $588 versus you're getting almost $800 more in rent. I said, I think you're way smarter to rent it. You're going to put $800 more in your pocket a month that you were getting from the last tenant. Now, the last tenant, he did the small rate increases or the rent increases every year, but they're definitely not amounting that $800 more. So I'm going to rent it for him, right? Because I think that's what's going to thin our listings. Any investor that might have, you know, sold their investment property or their secondary residence, you know, that they won't be selling them in the spring market, I don't think. It'll become a balanced market in fourth quarter. You think in 2023? Yeah. I hope that it doesn't affect us too much because we all need to work hard. But like I say, don't let your clients be scared. There's still a ton of listings out there to get sold. Anybody who needs to sell and then buy, you know, they're going to sell low, buy low. If it's in a high market, they would have sold high and bought high, right? So that's sort of where we're at with our clients. So definitely encourage your clients that it's not a scary time to sell. You don't want to be the doom and gloom realtor, right? But you have to be good to your clients. Like I say, I just told my investor client not to sell his condo. I mean, I would love to get the listing as a sale right now, but it's not the right choice for him right now. You have to be giving good sound advice. You have to know your market and you have to know what to tell your clients, right? Because that's going to be your repeat and referral business at the end of the day, right? And getting that back. So how's everybody else doing online there? Everybody's quiet.
Our building activities, housing building I think more houses are being built or no.
More houses. I find a lot of condos, condo market's still strong. New builds are still going up everywhere.
Condos are being built.
Yeah, lots of projects going up everywhere. If you guys aren't on, go to condonow.com, right? I find it's a good resource. If you want to go on and see what projects are happening in the city, they'll see. It tells you ones that are currently up and selling and gives you floor plans and everything. If they don't have information, they're still up there as an upcoming project, and they'll sort of tell you what release dates and that are happening. It's a good thing. You don't see any price change for pre-construction? No, you know why pre-construction? The thing is, pre-construction holds its value in the sense that they're projecting what the price will be, you know, in 3, 4, 5 years when it finishes getting built. Pre-construction used to be a really good thing, and you're still going to make money as a client, right? But now the builders are sort of looking ahead, because instead of putting, you know, $200,000 you made, you know, by the time you bought it and by the time it actually was built 4 years later, they've become pretty good at, like, you know, thinking and projecting that cost, you know. So you find out it definitely, the price change hasn't gone down too much in those at all. The good thing about that is the payment structures are easier right now. A lot of them are offering really good payment structures. What's the name of that project there? I'm not asking for much down. I think it was like $1,000 on signing. And you know, I think they're good investments. Honestly, I don't mind pre-construction at all. And I think that it's still a viable option for everybody. You still see so much of it, because they said during COVID, you know, a lot of people weren't coming to the country, right? They kind of just shut that down for a couple of years of COVID. So they're expecting a big influx. So I think it's a good investment for our clients right now, in that sense that when they get it, they can either, you know, sell it or rent it really easily. So yeah, I would invest in pre-construction, no problem. I don't think that's a big factor right now. Right?
That means they can charge only $1,000 for free.
No, that's $1,000 to sign.
Signing.
Yeah. And then usually you have to bring, like, you know, the balance to 5% within 30 days kind of thing. Everyone has different price structures, though. We usually have every builder that you go to.
Every builder has
Yeah.
their own way of.
Yeah. Whether they want to see, you know, the
It
balance.
is not down payment, just only for signing.
The 1,000 is only for signing, but then they have a deposit structure.
Like
So
deposit,
yeah, they'll do, like, you know, balance to 5% in
like
30
more,
days.
There's no more.
No, because when you, if I buy a house now, I need to put the deposit on when I sign the paperwork, but I need to have my whole down payment. Say I have to put 20% down. I need to have that whole down payment ready in 30 days when I close, or in 60 days when I close, right?
Mhm.
But with these, you have to have usually, you know, up to 5% within 30 days, then say 5 in another 90, and then, you know, 5 in another 120. It gives your client time to save up that money. You know,
It makes easy.
it's easier
think
for
that
people who don't have a
it's
big chunk right
easy,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Many
definitely.
people, you know, poor people can do that.
I don't know, poor.
When
They still have to get money from somewhere.
people who cannot afford deposit.
Yeah.
Down payment.
Yeah, who don't have a chunk right now. It's
better
good.
to go that.
Yeah, because usually you don't need the final 5% till
Yeah.
close to closing, right?
Mhm.
So, and that if that's 3, 4 years from now, that's plenty of time. So
They keep very long time.
yeah, it's okay, no problem.
They don't keep their word, you know.
No, I know
Only
they
2
do
years,
delay.
and it will be around 4 years.
Yeah, they can delay for sure the closing. So
you're finished now?
yeah, so everybody, we're gonna goal set this week, okay? I'll send the sheet out to the office, and I want you guys to put your goals down. You don't have to share it with me. That's why I'm going to ship it out, because I really want you guys to try and measure what you're going to do for 2023. I want to see some good sales coming into the office. I want you guys to be happy that you increased your business, and I want to try and give some structure for you guys to do that for 2023, right? And anything you guys need help with, you know, I'm always here. You guys can come, and you know, I don't even mind having a conversation when people come in my office and they say, hey, you know, business is a little slow right now. What should I do? We can analyze what it is that you're doing, and maybe just change some things up, or, you know, maybe add some things to your daily routine that you could be doing to help your business, right? All right, everyone, you have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
No problem. Thanks, Aaron. I will see you guys on Tuesday, and hopefully all of you at the gala next weekend. Everybody's coming on the 10th, right? Thank you guys. Thanks, Dasham. Thanks, Humayun. Awesome. See you guys.